go back to that 18 to 23-year-old time frame that your wife talked about. So you call a timeout and you're a point behind and you're in the huddle with these other kids that are about that age. Do you just kind of want to put yourself in the game and take that shot? Do you still have those kind of like, just give me the ball and I'll show you exactly what I want to have done?
Well, these guys are a lot better players than I was. And I was really fortunate to play with some, really, really good players. I think the one thing that is consistent with the teams that I played on and with the teams that I've coached here is the competitiveness of the players. We have really competitive guys who, who love to win and are really disappointed when they don't. Very similar to the group of guys that I played with in college, and you can see that happening. You can see the reason for success when these players trust each other, but they have an inner drive to be successful.
Well, nothing's the same anymore. This is the last run in the Mountain West Conference, and then there's the West Coast Conference that you'll compete in beginning next year. You've had some time to kind of think about the move into that conference. It's a good basketball conference. You trade a 3-bid team, a league, and for another 3-bid league as far as teams that go to the big dance. But what are some of your thoughts about this new league and where BYU will fit into it?
Well, I thought during the whole process when it was rumored that there might be a change, and you start to think, oh, well, what about this situation? And would this be better? Would this be worth? And basically what I came to the realization is that I wasn't going to be able to control what was going to happen.
Right.
But the challenge was always going to be the same. And that is that you're going to be put in a league and your challenge is to get your players together and try to put yourself in a position where you can win a conference championship. And so I really haven't, broken down the differences between the Mountain West Conference and the West Coast Conference. I mentioned this quite a few times, but Cheryl, my wife, she believes that the shopping in the WCC will be a lot better than in the Mountain West Conference.
Seriously, she's done some scouting,
and so
obviously.
she's on top of things.
She'll be on the Malibu trip then, and things like that. Well, if you look at just matchups, and if Utah's not in your league, it almost like doesn't matter what league you're in. Because even as a kid growing up watching BYU, would get the schedule, would look to see when we play Utah. We never looked to see if we played Colorado State or San Diego State or Wyoming. We just knew we were going to play them. Well, if Utah's out of the mix, now you have a chance really to go anywhere, and you don't offend your fan base because now they get to see Gonzaga or St. Mary's or Pepperdine, and you're replacing teams at Air Force and they're not necessarily excited teams that gets a 10-year-old boy to run to the Marriott Center. So it seemed to be a pretty good opportunity to just take a break and do something completely new.
Well, it's a great opportunity for our athletic program. I think that our football team has been terrific, over the last 30 years. And when you have a partner like ESPN and the opportunities that will create for us on a national basis for exposure, I think it's a great thing. I think that we will, all of us, when Utah left to go to the Pac-10, we all wonder how that was going to work with BYU because that's been such a big part of the culture of BYU athletics. Since they've made that move and they've gone, I think this is a terrific move for BYU.
Jimmer Fredette was here a couple of weeks ago, and he said one of the reasons why he didn't go to the NBA, one, of course, was he couldn't really secure where he was going to be drafted. But the other one was he wanted to come back here and play for what could be a top 10 team, which Provo hasn't had for a long time. And he comes in, if you just look at the press clippings for the last couple of weeks, and he's just about on every preseason All-America team, which we haven't seen since Danny Ainge. What do you do to get him better and also keep him as a team player and see how far you can go with this group?
Well, the one thing that's really special about Jimmer is that, and you think this would be for every player, but it's not. Jimmer really loves college basketball. He loves to play college basketball. There's a lot of guys who play it, and then they get really impatient because they want to see what's next and when they're professional. One thing that is kind of consistent of all our ex-players the last 5 years that have all signed professional contracts and gone either overseas or they played in the NBA or a combination of both, is when they come back, they wish that they would have enjoyed this experience maybe a little bit more. And Jimmer doesn't have that problem. He loves college basketball. And so I think the experience that he had going and working out for NBA teams was really, really good for him. He has some real, specific parts of his game that he wants to work on. and not just to make him a better player to improve his draft, but I think Jimmer is always looking for the next challenge. And so I'm excited that he's coming back, but I'm really excited that he's coming back with the attitude that he has to not only make himself a better player, but make his team better.
You've been around great players. You played with great players. Is he just a little bit different than all the others?
Well, I think that his ability late in a game is really special. He's a great late game scorer. He's a great late game competitor. He wants the spotlight on him, and that's not true with every player. I think every player believes that that's what they want.
Right. They do that.
But when it really comes down to it, there are certain guys who just relish that opportunity. And Jimmer's one of those guys. And one of the reasons is because he's been so successful at it, is that his confidence continues to grow. And I think that those are things that you can really see. He loves to put himself in a position to either score, get fouled, make a play for his teammate, get to the free throw line. Those are all things that he loves to do. And you know, when he's rolling, he's tough to deal with.
Jackson Emery, Brandon Davies, Noah Hartsock, some fellas around him. You've got some new guys coming in too. The football team's rebuilding. We are watching that unfold before our eyes. Your team is not rebuilding, and expectation is going to be pretty high. I know you like that, but at the same time raises the stress level a little bit about meeting that.
Oh no, we're really excited. We're excited. We want people to think that we've got a good team. We want you know, our guys to have confidence in their ability to be successful. We have a lot of holes to fill. And when you take Tyler Haws and Jonathan Tavanari and Chris Miles and Mike Lloyd off of our team from last year, those are big holes that we have to fill. I think what makes people excited is that the guys who potentially are going to fill those holes are people that they've seen, that have been in the program, and then with the new recruits that we have with Kyle and Steven and Hanson, that I think people are really excited. We're excited. I don't really know how it's going to play out, but that's one of the great parts of being a coach. Every year you have an opportunity to put a new team together. You have that challenge, and you get to watch the guys kind of work together. I think we've got great leadership with this team. Our three captains this year, our three seniors, Logan and Jackson and Jimmer. And when you've got, you know, good players and great leadership, good chemistry, you got a chance to have a special year.
Glad you're feeling better.
Well, thanks.
Hope you have a great season ahead, and thanks for coming on our program.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Head coach Dave Rose. You can see the Cougars live on BYU TV beginning November 5th against BYU Hawaii. Also can see BYU take on Chicago State, Mississippi Valley State, Hawaii, and Arizona, all here live on BYU TV.